Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would play around with a little bit of manifestation, releasing good vibes into the universe and hoping that they will come back tenfold to me, and talk about some of the things that I will be actively looking for when I am thrifting, and a few things that are going to be like if I find at the thrift out in the wild, that's super fantastic. But some of these things may be a bit more secondhand because, again, manifestation aside, finding some things that tend to be a bit more specific can sometimes just be more difficult to find in the wild at the thrift versus cruising online on secondhand sites like Mercari, like I am known to do. So while the majority of these things are things that I'm just hoping to find while I'm out and about and thrifting, there are a few that are just gonna be secondhand because they are those specific items that I would like to find secondhand. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who've been here for a while, all of my clothing, accessories, shoes, handbags, jewelry, everything is purchased secondhand, whether it is through the thrift or online, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, eBay, all of those. The list goes on and on and on. But without further ado, let's get to the list. I love hearing myself talk. And with moving forward, I just wanted to let you all know that every subscribe, every like, and every tap of that notification bell is in fact a boop on the adorable snoot on one of my kitties. So it is in fact not a thankless endeavor. This right here is the kitty that you boop every time you hit subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell. Boop. I'm going to start off with the things that are definitely secondhand specific. These are things that I'm hoping to find in my price point on the secondhand market. The first of which being the Dooney and Burke Amelie tote, but specifically in the large size. I have it in the small one right here, which is definitely one of my favorite crossbodies. I am planning on doing a review of this bag, so definitely let me know if you'd be interested in that down below. While I love this one as a crossbody, there are a few things that are not my favorite, like the fact that this strap cannot be detached. And in the large one, which I think will be an absolutely fantastic everyday, day-to-day, daily driver, you can remove the straps, and y'all know I just love me a big old daily driver bag. I've found a couple online, but like again, wanting it to be in my price point, wanting it to be the correct color. I talked to my girlfriend about this and I'm like, I don't want to buy it just because there's one in my price point if it's not in my preferred color. I am a strong advocate if you are going to invest in something as something that's more expensive, or I mean honestly anything, I want it to be in a color that is something that will go with the majority of my wardrobe. So I'm hoping for either a brown that's in the same one that I have. They have a deeper chocolate brown. If they had a green, I would lose my fucking mind, but I don't know if they do. And if the green would be in my price point, but that's one that I'll refresh on Poshmark, I'll refresh on Mercari and be like, anything else set in, anyone else selling it? And that will simply be a time will tell. Another specific is one that I haven't even like looked into online to see if I could find it, and that is this Anna Sui Soy. I was going to look up how to pronounce it before this, but I didn't. If you know how to pronounce it, let me know down below, because if I haven't heard it, how am I going to know how it's pronounced? But this is a designer that I really enjoy a lot of their stuff. It's very kitschy. It's very, I would say, twee, vintage inspired, 70s, 60s revival. And it is specifically this denim skirt, as well as potentially looking for other pieces. That's something that I'll be looking for online. I mean, to find something like that in the wild, in a piece that I would like, in a size that would fit my body, would be far few and in between, a miracle almost. And so I have looked at a few things. I've had some things that I've had on my Mercari list that I have purged, but I would really really like to find this particular skirt. The denim, the dark wash, the stitching, the denim ruffles. It just has a level of kitsch and practicality that I think I would get a lot of wear out. I have really been enjoying not just wearing at work, although this isn't necessarily a work appropriate one, really dipping my toes back into some feminine wear and skirts and styling them in my non-binary, androgynous, feminine, masculine, back and forth style. And this is one of those ones that I got whatevered on a Facebook ad and was like, I actually like that, but firsthand it's like $400 and there's no way that's happening. Like if I'm spending $400 on a skirt, it better be some kind of vintage Vivienne Westwood premium shit going on. Now onto the things that are going to be more likely to be found, going to be on my mind for in the thrift, as well as maybe potentially finding secondhand, because even though secondhand is a much broader, wider area of stuff, if you're particular about things, you're still not necessarily going to be finding it left, right, and center. First of which being a barn jacket. Now, I discussed barn jackets in one of my trend videos. I will do my best to link it down below. If not, go to my channel page, subscribe, boop a cat snoot, and you will find it there. But ever since like talking about it, and I can't quite remember if I was as into it when I discussed it as I am now, I really love in the fall and the winter, I feel like I've really found my style, my just winter wardrobe staples. I love layering, I love jackets, I love outerwear, I love experimenting with different silhouettes, and I just love that like casual androgynous work, but can also be dressed up potentially a little bit. I'm going to be showcasing pictures of things while I am talking. There was a vintage Ralph Lauren one that's just denim and like quilted and corduroy and leather, all kinds of details. It was already sold. I probably wouldn't have bought it. It was like $295, and I'm like, I want a barn jacket, but not necessarily a $295 barn jacket. There is a wide variety of them online. I've seen ones from LL Bean, ones from Carhartt. I would probably really like to get something that's vintage. I try not to get caught up in the whole like, well, vintage is always better. I feel like there's a lot of snootiness and elitism about trying to shop only vintage, but I'm not gonna lie, there are quite a few vintagey looking ones that I was just like, I've got a couple on my Mercari. I think I have a couple on my Poshmark as well, but there really hasn't been one that I've just been absolutely definite on. We are definitely in Virginia out of the cool. I'm waiting for it. We've had a lull in the weather. I'm waiting for it to turn into Satan's armpit over here because climate change has taken Virginia by the throat and just shaken the shit out of it. So I'm not sure how active I'm going to be in finding it, because I've told myself, I'm like, when you're thrifting, what's the point in thrifting a sweater and a jacket if you can't even bring it in to my wardrobe and put it on? I'm gonna have to wait 8 months to be able to wear it. But definitely a piece of clothing that is on my mind and something I want to find. I want to find the one that just speaks to me and adds a level of depth to my wardrobe. Another piece of outerwear, again, I'm not sure why I made this list, I think when it was still a little bit chilly, a little bit not quite as warming as we are, but I would love to find an oversized kind of, not boxy. Again, I'll have pictures and stuff so you can kind of see the dream, see the idea, but a leather or a like suede or a faux suede even. I did get this one a while back. Now it's not suede or anything, but it's this softer kind of brushed looking material, and this color is absolutely perfect. It's a real nice layering piece. I like the fact that it's a bit lighter. It did have a lining that I took out. I did not like the lining. I think it looks real nice with all of these buttons. It's got a nice silhouette, but I want something a bit boxier, a bit more casual, not bomber style. Again, I'll have those pictures. This is something that's pretty particular, so I don't know if this is going to be something that I'll be like roaming around to find secondhand online, or if maybe out in the wild I'll be lucky enough to find it. The places that I thrift pretty regularly have blessed me multiple times with good finds. Like I said, when it comes to outerwear, I really like using that as a way to play with different silhouettes. I like a nice flare jean with a bit of a boxier on top. And kind of in that same vein, I would love to find, and this I have several on my Mercari, I would love to find a leather, real leather. Nothing is going to touch this body or these feet but real leather in green or brown. As much as I've seen some black ones even out in the wild, some black leather jackets that while they're cute, I just don't wear black and incorporate it as much into my wardrobe as I do a green or a nice chocolate brown. I will have some birthday money at some point. I'm not sure how practical that will be to buy a jacket in the weather. My birthday is in May, and at that point, we're definitely gearing up to Satan's armpit. But when it comes to something like a leather jacket that I feel is going to be a bit more of an investment, it's going to be like one piece that I get, I want it to be perfect. Like I said, I found some ones in the wild black. There was a green one that I thought was beautiful, but it was fake leather, and that's definitely not happening in this wardrobe. But something that's quintessential to the time period that I like, from the 90s or the Y2K era, those silhouettes I find really attractive. And even a more modern revival piece, so long as it's the right color, the right material leather, the right cut, the right silhouette, I really don't care when it comes from, so long as it ticks off all those boxes for me. But when it comes to buying something, an investment like leather, I really need it to be perfect and be that one thing that I'm bringing in that is going to tick all those boxes. Next, this is kind of a theme, but it is going to be stripes, and I would love to find some more striped button down. Great example, my girlfriend and I have been watching The Office, so Pam from The Office, all of those cute, sweet little striped button-down tops that she wears. More stuff along the lines of this. Now, this is definitely something that I will hope to find in the thrift because I've got such a awkward bust. I'm like a 38-40, and with my neurodivergent ick when it comes to clothes, I really like it when things lay and look and are just a certain way when it comes to buttons, that it is a gamble buying it online, no matter how much I measure and stress and moan over it. It's just a lot easier and better for me to find it so I can try it out in the wild, so I can just, see if it fits rather than buying it online. Because when you're buying things secondhand online, while you probably could do a return, it's just kind of not a thing to get it and be like, oh, well, why do you want to return? It's like, well, it doesn't fit. It's like, well, that's not my fucking problem. Another great example is this one here that I actually found while out at Goodwill with my mom, which finding anything at Goodwill that's not being sold at a premium that's in my style and everything is pretty, I get really a lot of satisfaction from finding something at Goodwill that's actually the quality I'm looking for and the price point that I'm looking for the style that I'm looking for, because Goodwill is just becoming more and more of a barren wasteland. But again, this is something that I'm gonna want to find more out and about, again, to be able to try it on. I've tried a couple of button downs buying them online, and it's just, it's a weird variable that is better for me to try in person than to try to chase and potentially be disappointed in buying it online. In the striped theme, I am on the hunt for striped denim, striped flares. I have recently, I didn't think I was that much of a denim person. I was like, okay, well, I have my jeans and whatnot. And recently you're going to see in a thrift haul, I have found a bunch of really cool, I don't know if they're vintage, but vintagey denim that has just truly ignited my love for the jeans. And I would love to find some striped. I just want stripes running all over and down and everywhere on my body. I love stripes so fucking much, and this is just so quintessential to that time period that I'm vibing with, dressing up like 14, 15-year-old me dreamed about. This is a really difficult one because I've lost weight and I'm also gluten intolerant, and since going gluten-free, my inflammation has gone down, bloating has gone down, so my sizing is a bit all over the place. If you're lady, femme presenting, whatever, you know the frustration that is women's pant sizes. I literally have everything from like a 12 to a 6. And so it's again one of those things that like online I can measure to my heart's content, but it's like, does it have any give? Is it low rise? Is it high rise? Is it going and finding pants can be such a demoralizing just feat. And the most recent time that I did go thrifting and that I was successful in finding pants is I was in there for just the denim at least a half hour, like going through and just looking at the bottom. I live for flares and boot cut. I'm not a skinny jean person. I was back when skinny jeans were in their heyday. But for me and what my style is now, it's definitely not that. I am waiting for skinny jeans to come back in style so that everyone gets rid of their flares and everything, and that goes to the thrift. But when it comes to getting pants, it really does take more effort, especially going through in the thrift. It's like it has to be you have to take your time and you have to go through and try on however many. I don't even go into just what I go through the small, the medium, the large, and sometimes even the extra large, because the number on the tag does not necessarily denote actual size or fit. So while I have quite a few online that I've hearted as inspiration, that would be things that maybe I would buy, I haven't purchased pants online before because that is, again, just so many variables to have to do with just having a body, and having a body that you sometimes still have a dysmorphic relationship with. This will be, I think, a pretty hard one to find at the thrift, but it's in there. It's something that I want. I don't want to just willy-nilly buy because, again, don't know if it'll fit, but definitely on my radar. Another one, although this is kind of lower and probably kind of a bit of a secondhand one because how particular I am with my footwear. I am a shoe person, but if I'm going to be spending money on a shoe, it better be something that's going to stay with me for a long time. And that is some 90s shoes. I want to get some mules, some clogs. I've got some vintage Doc Marten sandals on my Mercari and my Poshmark and my eBay. Finding shoes that are actually going to meet the qualifications that I want in the wild is, again, one of those really not too likely to happen, especially in the price point, because again, a lot of the thrift, if they have anything that's even slightly higher quality, they're going to take that and they're going to put a crazy tag on it. And I'm like, why am I buying something that's $30 here at Goodwill on something that I found when I could take that $30 and find something super specific online. And I have this year already made 3 pretty significant shoe purchases, so I'm not like super actively looking to find this. Should I find it for the right price point and what I want, Magical Christmas Land? Yeah, that'd be great. But shoes do take up a large amount of real estate, and I'm trying to be better about the amount of real estate that I bring in. Purses and shoes just take up a lot of space. I'd love some stacked heels. I'd love some more 90s boots. Like I said, I'd love some 90s chunky Doc Marten-y sandals. Again, I feel like I've gotten my fall and winter style down pretty pat, and I'm really looking into discovering and rediscovering some more feminine things, skirts, flowy, and taking what I've learned about my fashion in the cooler months and simply applying those theories and methods to my hot weather. It's going to be real boring styling wise when it gets hot, because I ain't gonna be able to do nothing during those months. I would also really love to find some flowy boho, kind of like this, a la this. Now this is one that I had on my Mercaris for a while that I was just like, you know what? The green, the blue, it brings the little black in, and I've been wanting to bring a little black in because I've got black stuff, but I don't wear it as often. I've got some real cute black skirts that this goes fantastically with. But more tops like this, either vintage in like the 70s and the 80s, or if we're doing, this is definitely 90s does 70s and 60s and 80s. I love looking at videos and reminding myself that fashion truly is cyclical, and you'll see those videos where it's like the 60s does the 40s and the 90s does the 70s, and I really do love the vintage revival of vintage. Like we have a lot today, a lot of revival Y2K and 90s, that while I really do enjoy, like Minga London and a wide variety of other brands that are really banking on that nostalgic pull towards those eras, I do also love what the time period, this is no boundaries stretch from when I was probably like 13, and it is absolutely everything I could possibly want in a top. This, just absolutely more of this. Things that I can go full campy with, wearing a long flowy skirt, but will also look good with those. I've got a pair of, you'll see me haul them, a pair of Aeropostale slightly high-rise flared jeans that just look so good. I think I wore it with this top when I first thrifted those jeans because I was like, ooh, ah. And they would look absolutely fantastic this as well. Just more of this, more of this. I just want to live out my best, whatever life I would be living wearing this and flared denim. And that's actually going to wrap it up for me for this video. I could honestly talk about all the things that I would want to thrift, but trying to not make things 50 bajillion hours long. I don't know if I'm gonna ever be doing any like thrift with me content, because as much as I don't care what other people think, I also feel a little weird filming in public. I do like the way that Jessica Blair formats hers, where she just kind of does a bit of music and a bit of montage and showing things and pulling them out, whereas some are a bit more, I guess, just self-assured and they just do it a lot more, so they're fine. Let me know if that is something you would be interested in seeing, just kind of the process of going thrifting. We could go to a couple different places. My mom's coming back from a trip to Utah and she and I want to go a little bit of thrifting, so definitely just let me know. But thank y'all so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!